Welcome, young one. Today we'll be teaching you the samurai ways. Nah, you don't need to start yet, obviously. Fam, like nunchucks are level 57, you're level 4. Yeah, let me just quickly, whoa, Jesus. Bro, is this even samurai? You've not even signed into the front desk. Yo guys, it is your boy Niren here, and you are watching FTW. This of course is the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. And if the energy's off, please allow me. I'm pretty ill at the moment, so. But what's been kicking off in the world this week? Still a significant amount. In lighter news, and the world is ending. Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Who wrote this? A groundbreaking study suggests that climate change effects are now irreversible. Yet, like your great aunt after a dinner, these gases can't be controlled. Plastic waste is unlikely to have helped the situation. I wonder how the beautiful game is going to adapt up in space when we have to move planet. Ronaldo's gone for the header there. He's still going. This isn't looking good, I can't lie. On to the football though now, and where else to start than Sunday's EFL Cup final, the Carabao Cup, the glucose games, the saturated fat series, the clash of the carbohydrate. Liverpool beat Chelsea in a controversial final via penalties to win the first silverware of the year. After a mammoth shootout, it came down to the goalkeepers. Wavine Kelleher slotted his in calmly. Meanwhile, Kepa... I'm trying to record FTW here. The man's taken a goal kick here. What's he even aiming for? Right, hang on 1 sec. I'm just positioning this one. There's something mad about coming on for a shootout, not saving any and then missing one. He even stood where Van Dijk's went in and got beaten, then stared down. The Instagram account of Liverpool's mascot seemed to insinuate the ball had ended up in space. It's a shithousery award for the mighty Red. There's an alternate universe where Edouard Mendy's refusing to come off. No. One dad managed to bring home the match ball after the game. He wasn't actually in attendance. He just works for the International Space Station. Oh, it's still Ronaldo going for it. As mentioned, there was controversy here. First of all, with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Kai Havertz clashing. They look like they want to lips. They look like they're ready to go off and do crazy golf on a Friday night together.
Like, full on, like... on your face.
Yes! From the camera! Harvey Elliott was ready to add his weight into this, and I spoke about VAR decisions in more detail in the previous vid. Match fixing. But with 4 offside goals in total, including Romelu Lukaku's bicep hairs being off, the lino passed out through exhaustion. That flag was up more times than Romelu Lukaku when he hears a Californian accent. Oh yeah, bro, say it again. Congrats on your man of the match today. Absolutely brilliant performance. Anything you'd like to add? How the sweet did I get here? Chelsea fans might feel hard done by for the Lukaku incident and for Keita's non-red card, despite the Liverpool midfielder denobilizing Trevor Chalobah. But the game could have been set earlier on, with Mason Mount's opportunity. Call him Money Mace, but there's not much in the bank account.
I just want to welcome you to Mason Mount March. I want to see all of your fan edits this month.
How about someone edits the ball into the net? You get a bit more creative with some assists, mate. Jurgen Klopp wasn't even trying to win this. He's been playing his under-13s for the first 4 rounds. He's actually trying to sell the trophy for scrap metal as we speak.
I think you could get between £200 and £300.
That's all.
Yeah. That's all.
My goodness.
In the celebrations, and Ibrahima Konate realised that confetti isn't the same as confectionery, and we even had a random child lift a trophy out of the crowd. Jurgen confirmed that he had no idea who he was. Klopp felt like gifting the trophy to him like it was a Make-A-Wish campaign. Meanwhile though, this is the real trophy. It's been a wild week for Chelsea, with Roman Abramovich being forced into selling the club due to the current Russia-Ukraine situation, which can't be good for the club's finances. You're not having the pulling power of before. You're signing Davide Zappacosta again.
In this life, if you don't get money, you'll suffer.
Conor McGregor showed early interest in buying the club. We've got live scenes of him at home watching Kepa's next penalty shootout performance.
I did not appreciate that one bit.
I can't wait for the next contender, Roman Abramovich. At Spurs, and their week started well, with a slapping of Leeds 4-0, in a result that inevitably cost Bielsa his job. At least he's moved on pretty quickly. So you're telling me you bought a bucket and you're not sitting on it. Rest in peace to translator, gone but not forgotten. Marcelo actually had the decency to stand outside the training ground and sign loads of autographs for Leeds fans disappointed with his exit. He's done well for the club and he maybe should have had one more game given the teams he was losing against. But if you're conceding every 19 minutes. Your defensive coaches are on holiday. They're out in the south of France. They forgot their passport on the way back, and now they've missed their flight. To replace him, they brought in Red Bull Salzburg manager Jesse Marsch. He's an American manager, and he'll have stern words for anyone that challenges him.
You don't know where I'm from, dog.
But it got significantly worse in midweek for Spurs as they crashed out of the FA Cup to Championship side Middlesbrough. This man's finito. Genuinely wouldn't be surprised if we saw him cutting loose at half-time this weekend.
He might be walking away from the stadium. Is he walking away from the job?
Imagine this man was on All or Nothing. We'd have seen a live and documented murder. Even Harry Kane's done for at this point. He's gonna fall apart when Levy offers him a new contract extension. I honestly have no doubts whatsoever that we can fix this. You must be speaking French, bro. We need to talk about this though. That's Pochettino, Jose Mourinho, and Antonio Conte so far that have all struggled. This bottle gene must be so ingrained in this club's mRNA. Conte wants out, mate. He's gotta pretend to be unhappy when his team's 8-1 down next week. Over at City, and we've got an unfortunate case of blind, as VAR failed to give an Everton penalty late on for pretty obvious handball. I don't know what is going on in the VAR room, though in fairness, if we zoom in, the EPL have officially apologised to Everton. They're gonna go down, but at least the apology's worth 3 points, eh? Imagine the text the Premier League officers are getting from Arsenal right now. They're 0800 reverse calling them to let them pay for the bill. Mikel Arteta will have been leaving some wild voicemails. Listen, yeah, I'll beat you up and my hair won't even move, so just... It turns out that North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, is an avid supporter of Manchester United. No wonder half the squad are war criminals. But other than that, it's been a pretty quiet week for United.
What is he doing? Please stop.
Nah, we can't allow this to run. How are you showering naked on Instagram and then forcing your son to do 7 bicep curl sets in the next room? Pressing that shower button is the most pressing he's done all season. Over on Sky, and James Ward-Prowse showed off his impressions of Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher.
The biggest build-up.
I wasn't prepared for this, otherwise I would have done it.
We give you the biggest build-up on the set
pieces. There's a great touch there, you can see Romeo. I've got a few more, but I'll save for another one. Yeah, got a general scousey.
Speaking of the Saints, and apparently the only songs they were playing out ahead of their game against West Ham were cat-related ones. Kurt Zuma's fuming. It's a shithousery award for them. Meanwhile, in the FA Cup, and Everton knocked out 50th side Boreham Wood. Yet another underdog victory. Panorama National side Boreham Wood have captured the hearts of many with their FA Cup run, and it really just showed once again how important the FA Cup is. Meanwhile, football was once again showing support and solidarity for Ukraine in their ongoing conflict with Russia. Declan Rice held up an Andrei Yarmolenko shirt just before kickoff in their game. Everton's starting 11 wearing Ukrainian flags was a nice touch before their game against City. Ruslan Malinovsky scored for Atalanta recently and revealed a message under his shirt. Benfica's fans showed their support for Roman Abramovich. Meanwhile, Schalke have officially removed their Russian-based sponsor from their shirts. Daniel Farke was the new manager of Krasnodar in Russia for approximately 6 minutes before quitting, having not managed a game. Meanwhile, FIFA banned the Russian national team from their World Cup qualifiers, as well as all Russian domestic clubs from European games. Just a matter of days after Spartak Moscow tweeted this. They're now out. Yeah, that could have gone a little bit better. In France, and Paris Saint-Germain have offered Kylian Mbappe a new deal at the club worth £800,000 per week after tax. That means their front three will now be on 234 million quid a year combined together. You know that's 35% of France's economy. It's a mental deal and mad for football overall. That's more than Idrissa Gueye's entire pension fund. Red midfielder Lovro Mayer has been slapping it up since his move to League On for 11 million quid. You might have to add a little bit more in terms of financial compensation for this cameraman. OGC Nice beat our favourite 4th division amateur side Versailles in a Coupe de France semi-final 2-0. It's been a mad journey for the French minnows. And to be honest, again, that's not even that crazy of a scoreline. But Amine Gouiri did send a few of the defenders back to AstroTurf 5-a-side pitches. Over in Italy and at Parma, there's the news that Gianluigi Buffon has signed a new contract at the club to last until he's 46 years old. He's going to be looking like this when he sits down for his next contract negotiations. Do we need to set up a GoFundMe for his pension? Because, like, don't worry, mate. You can retire now if you want. For real, though, it is actually admirable that he can continue playing at such a high level at this age. Though the contract that he's got in comparison to Mbappe's isn't quite as good. It's fair to say that Inter's Lautaro Martinez doesn't look the same game as he usually does here. Meanwhile, after rumours of his exit, Nicolo Zaniolo doesn't seem like a fan favourite amongst a few Roma supporters. His sister published pictures of messages that have been written on the walls at the school that she attends about Nicolo, including calling him a traitor and threatening to beat him up. If you still go to school, the chances are you can't beat him up. Meanwhile, in Portugal, and Pepe revealed that up until the age of 17, he slept with his mum. Wait, no, hang on.
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you?
I don't want to make this series anymore. That's it. I'm not making FTW. This is madder than anything Neymar's ever said before. I know what he meant, and that he slept in the same bed as his mum until a pretty unusually high age. The tension between Pepe and his dad when they came across each other in the kitchen must have been very high. In Spain, and Vinicius Jr.'s new character arc is that of a movie supervillain.
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
There's Batman-inspired stuff at Barcelona too.
jugador bastante similar.
That is a serious, man. That is a serious.
Yeah, the serious. Okay, just one. So.
And we've got an interesting throw-in technique at Sporting Gijon. Just launch it at the back of your mate's head. I'm sure it'll be fine. And the Spanish theme continues into our goals of the week this time around. Now, do you remember Bebe, the man that Manchester United signed without scouting him once, and it became very apparent that he was absolutely not of the quality needed? Well, he's still kicking about, and he's actually doing pretty well for himself in Spain, scoring an absolute screamer for Rayo Vallecano. And we've actually got a pretty similar strike over in Indonesia, a rocket from a dead ball setup. Never in my life have I seen a fake shot for a gender reveal. Meanwhile, it's fair to say sometimes football brings out the tensions in people. A fully fledged brawl, though, is impressive. Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty. And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Closer to home, and new West Brom manager Steve Bruce has struggled for goals since taking over the club. He had some interesting reasons as to why his side were struggling.
The decisions we made, the ball was a big problem to us, and
I mean, the ball being a problem is a pretty major concern, really, for a game that revolves around a football. Huddersfield provided this Peaky Blinders theme tweet after their victory against Birmingham before deleting it. To me, they should have left it up, mate. Say it with Jess. Down in League One, and nobody got the memo of a football match. They thought it was rugby down there instead. Meanwhile, there was a hilarious thread on Twitter talking about the effect of the Premier League on kids who'd obviously watched those games on their TVs. For instance, the fact that one of them puts up their hand for a corner despite nobody knowing what type of corner routine that's gonna develop into. Apparently, they've even been using their hands to cover their mouths because they've seen Premier League players do it. I don't think you have to worry about TV cameras picking up what you say in the Essex Combined Counties Division under 12s, or kissing your ring finger after you score for your marriage. Fam, you're 9. Jonas Wind completed his move from Copenhagen to Wolfsburg recently and gave his farewell to the Danish fans, except the stadium accidentally played out music over the top so that nobody could hear what he was saying. It was all going so well for this mascot until it didn't. Meanwhile, it's been a busy week for Brazilian side Grêmio. First of all, their manager has -7 ball control. Meanwhile, the club are apparently considering terminating the contract of one of their players, Diego Turin, after he was pictured leaving a hotel room by a woman that he'd been seeing, who'd then gone on to write the caption, "He's bad with ball and bad in bed." He's also married, so it's not going well for him. Elsewhere in South America, and we've got perhaps the worst penalty ever taken, and a dog getting in the mix during another spot kick. I mean, who can blame him? He can probably do better than my man from the last clip. In Mexico now, and somebody should probably inform this goalkeeper that he's allowed to use his hands.
Le hace un extraño, me da la impresión a Viconis.
In Brazil and in Brusque's game against Joinville, no amount of tactical preparation can brace you for this shambles of a goal. Fair to say the quality of goal is a little bit better over in Luxembourg, as this keeper scored from his own half. And Al-Saad and Abdel Karim Hassan decided to hold up the fourth official's board for his own substitution. Turns out there's only so many things you can shout at a referee from the touchline before they get aggressive back at you. Meanwhile, at Fort Saint-Luth and the two managers on the touchline have just decided to start scrapping. Why is there so much aggression in this episode? In the MLS, and Maximo Carrizo has become the youngest professional footballer in the league's history, signing a first-team deal on his 14th birthday. I don't even think he's that old. He looks like 7.
He could have been killed.
Over in Jordan, and surely somebody brought their away kit for this one. Meanwhile, it's time for another stinker of an own goal, this time in Panama.
Jonathan García, el pique que metió ahí para recuperar la posición.
Así es.
Es de los jugadores más rápidos del área, fácilmente top 3. Cuidado todo.
Cuidado, cuidado, cuidado. ¡Gol!
Now that it's time for still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now, this is a segment of the show where I bring you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And this time around, we've got 2 clips for you. First of all, in the UK and at Garforth Town, let's say it's the 95th minute, you're level, and you need a winner. This is the goal that you score to win the game. Isn't that bad, is it? And over in the non-league of Indonesia, a game had to be cut short over there after a swarm of bees attempted to attack the players and the referee. On to the weird stuff though now. Swedish side Kalmar decided to announce the contract extension of Carl Gustafsson by picturing him filling up fuel. I mean, fair enough. Brazilian side Chapecoense are on the lookout for a new graphic designer. This is the advert that they put out on Instagram looking for the role. Up in Scotland, and Peterhead had to delay their most recent game as they were looking for a professional linesman. Look, we've been over this already. Just get someone from the crowd to do it or something. And finally, after relegation to the 4th tier recently, fans of Brazilian side Piranha are not happy with where the club is right now. Their ultras have decided to set up a friendly with the team as a way to work out if some of their fans are better than the actual players that they have. This, I think, is the #1 sign that your club is in a crisis. That's gonna wrap up football this week though, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.